Okay. All I can say right now is wow. I don't know what happened to that last video. That's never happened for me. This is the first. I don't know if it's going to actually be a video in the end, if it's processing like it says it's processing, um, if we're going to have a video in the end of this or not have a video. I have no idea. I don't usually use my computer because my computer has a tendency with my energy to blur out and delete words and freeze my face and everything else. So, okay. I don't know what's going on here, guys. Kathy Holton, hello. How are you? Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to do here. Let's see. Well, I'm back. I'm trying this on my computer now. That was crazy. Having said that, um, today around 4 o'clock, I was watching Dr. Michael Salla um, at a friend and client's house, and I was falling asleep sitting up in the chair. Now, that has never happened to me in my entire life. Um, and hello, Tina. So I don't know what's going on. I do apologize. Bear with me one second here. I'll be back. Well, I cannot seem to stop that last video. I cannot seem to edit that last video. I cannot seem to watch that last video. I can't seem to do anything at all with that video. So who knows what's going to happen to that video right now? I don't know. Now you guys have the full almost tour of my dining room here. So, and there's me at 8 years old, whatever year that was. So I apologize for that. Oh, hello, James. Hello, David. Now I have a whole set of people that weren't even here. So I tried to make a video, and there were a few people here watching said video, and it just disconnected and told me to retry. However, I can't seem to stop that last video. So I don't know what's going on with that. Uh, hello, Terrell. Good morning to you, Terrell. And good night to me. It's almost my bedtime. So I apologize. And none of the same people are the same people that were here before, which is even kind of more bizarre. So here we are, and here we go. Wow, that was crazy. So I was falling asleep in my chair, in a chair today at a client's house when she put Dr. Michael Salla on. And I went outside for a few minutes to get some oxygen to try to keep myself awake, which didn't really work that well. So I don't know what's blowing in. I've been making videos for a couple years, and I've had my words chop in and out, my face blur in and out, but I have never had what happened. I've never had what happened to me this evening. So I don't know what's going on, but I kind of do. Before I make every video, I usually sit down and start with a sentence or two and ask spirit and higher self to join this little party and discuss with us what we need to have discussed for the people that are here on the same frequency wave as you and I. So that was my attempt, and I'm not honestly sure. What do you guys think? What do you want me to do here? Should we start this video over? So when I sat down today in complete silence right before the video, as I always do, I asked higher self and spirit to join in to deliver the message for us that we needed to hear. And what happened was I started hearing for the first time that I was probably in complete silence today. I started hearing a solar storm that is stronger than any solar storm I have yet to feel. And I've been feeling and hearing them for quite a while, quite a while. All right, Tina's here, James here, David is here, Terrell is here, Lisa is here. Hello, Lisa. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if that video is going to reprocess. I don't know if I'm going to have the same problem. It said it stopped. It asked me if I wanted to end the stream. I said yes. And apparently, I guess it's still streaming. Renee gave me a bunch of suggestions. I tried restarting my phone, I tried turning it off. The video live stream won't end. So I guess I'm just going to have to delete that. So the question was, where are your roots? That's what the last video was about. Where are your roots? What is your current role play? Are you a player? Are you playing yourself? Are you playing other people? Okay. We all play roles, and we play roles every single day. And we are conscious of those roles we play: daughter, wife, coworker, parent, entrepreneur, employee, whatever those roles are. Now, this is starting to get blurry. So if that continues, I will just exit out of video number 2. I know you guys really want to see the underside of my arm here. Okay. All right, let's see if we can fix this. Okay. Hello. How are you? I could be frustrated, but what is the point in that? You all know how great I am at technology anyway. There are no comments after Lisa, so I'm going to assume this is still going, but honestly, I couldn't say that I was sure of anything. Okay? We all play roles every day, every single day in our life. We play roles. Is your role worthy of an Oscar? Are you going to get Best Supporting Actress? Are you going to get Best Supporting Actor? What roles are you playing? So the majority of these roles we play, we are conscious of those roles that we are playing. We try to be a better coworker. We try to be a better entrepreneur. We try to be a better wife, a better mother, a better daughter, a better brother, a better sister, whatever it is. Those are the roles that we are consciously playing and working at our role to be the best at those roles that we can be as a soul or an angel in a light body. But we are also playing roles that are unconscious to us. Now is the time for us to change our roles so that we are not looking for that Oscar or that Golden Globe or that Best Supporting Actor or that Best Supporting Actress. It's time to change our role to be the best support for ourselves, our friends, our family, our mission, our true calling, the true reason that our soul is here. So, where are your roots? How are root systems of every living kingdom in this very moment connected to each other and this body of sentient life we call planet Earth? Every kingdom of Earth, the plant kingdom, is connected to the entire plant kingdom. The animal kingdom is connected completely to the animal kingdom. Humans are all connected to humans. So, what is your role for humanity? What is the role you are playing for the plant kingdom? What is the role you are playing within the animal kingdom? What is the role that you are playing for everything in your life? Every root system of all living kingdoms are connected. When I was 8 years old, my grandmother sent me out to the garden to get rid of the weeds. I believe at 8, she was paying me 10 cents an hour. I'm sure even at 8, I knew that was not exactly a lucrative position to be in. However, me and my brothers and sisters were all very interested in making money at a very, very young age. So we were all working for my grandmother at one point or another. When they sent me out to do weeds, the garden in front of her house, directly in front of her house, was probably 6 feet long and maybe 3 feet wide at that. I took a shovel and shoveled the entire thing back and forth, up and down. And when I was done, my little 8-year-old OCD sat on the ground and pulled every weed out and sifted every weed in my hand. And I was astonished at what happened. For 48 hours, maybe 3 days, I heard the plant and saw the plant's root system and how it reacted to my pulling it out. Oh, wow, James. Men in Black, a little mechanical Men in Black. You always have such amazing stories, James Whitkus, I tell you, I swear. So, what I learned from doing this, from this root system at 8 years old, is that plant did not appreciate me pulling its plant, but more importantly, its roots. Where was it rooted? What was it rooted in? And how could I be destructive to such a system? I learned that at 8 years old, and I believe it took me a week or two to come to the conclusion that what I had learned was that that root system was connected not only to me and not only to itself, but that systemically that connection between self and between human and animal kingdom or plant kingdom is what it was rooted in, was its want and need to survive and thrive. And I disturbed that. And so I did much planting in my apartment living for many, many years. But I was always working in containers or baskets or pots or something that hung on the ledge of the balcony. I was not digging in the dirt. In 2012, my brother and I and our 4 combined kids got a condominium with a very small yard and a very large deck. And for the first time since I was living at home, I was back to shoveling and taking roots out at the base. And I was very OCD. I was very much into perfectionism when it came to removing every single piece of weed in that garden. So in 2012, the exact same thing happened to me, right? I saw this root system. I heard this root system and how it was affected by me, not only getting rid of its plants, by getting rid of its roots and its connectedness to the other kingdoms. This happened again in 2012 on that small piece of land when I started pulling out weeds. I saw those weeds again for another 2 or 3 days straight. This led me to believe that this had something to do with me disturbing the root system or the kingdom, the plant kingdom, without speaking to that kingdom about what I was doing and why I was doing it. From that day on, after those 2 experiences, whenever I weed for anyone, whether that's at a job, a business, someone's home, or my own home, before I even stick the shovel in, I say, I am going to weed this garden. You have an entire yard, you have an entire forest next to me, but I'm going to weed because I need a place that I can plant stuff for me. Now, when I said that, I did not see the root system or hear the plant at all. So that is what I discovered was the way to do it. Now, I wasn't doing it so that I didn't have to hear the weeds themselves or the plant kingdom complain. I did that because in those two experiences, I had learned from those experiences that I was disturbing something and that there needed to be a conversation had with the plant kingdom before I started working. Oh, hello, Susan, or Star, wink, wink. My name is Star too. That's what we call each other because that's what I wanted my name to be. But, I guess we can't choose what our name is before we come in here. Or can we? So I learned in 2012 that I would continue to see the disruption that I had caused the plant kingdom if I did not first speak to the plants. So now every time I work in my own yard or as a landscaper, a landscape designer, landscape architect, as someone who gardens and landscapes, at every single person's house I work in, I have a conversation with anything and everything that is being removed. That's weeds, that's trees. If I am moving a plant from one side of the house to another or splitting a plant and making it into 3 plants, I tell the plant what I'm doing. I'm giving you a nice little home on the north side of the house because you're getting too much light over here, etc., etc. I've never lost a plant. I have no more crying plants on me, and I have no more disturbed root systems crying or showing me images of my destructive behavior. Now, this is how I am with all things. In my house, I have what I call the witness relocation program. And when I see a bug that I don't want in here, I get a cup and I tell that bug, would you like to go outside and be part of the witness relocation program? Because you are not going to be living in this house for very long. They almost always go to the cup. And every once in a while, you get some insect that has a horrible temperament, like a wasp or a mosquito, that chooses to die in the house instead of being part of the witness relocation program. Very conscious of what I am doing. We do things mostly consciously, but we are also doing things subconsciously. And a lot of times we are also doing things unconsciously as well. So pulling weeds at 8 years old taught me a valuable lesson that has stayed with me for my entire life. And I knew at 8 years old what I had done, but from 8 to 42 was a very long stretch. And apparently in that time from 8 to 42, I had forgotten the effect that I had systemically on the plant kingdom when pulling those out without first having that conversation. And that is why I escort bugs outside. And that is why I talk to plants and trees, whether I am removing them, splitting them, or moving them to a different place in the yard. YouTube's driving me absolutely nuts. I thought I would throw that out there. Okay, so the connectivity of all kingdoms, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, whatever that may be, we are all completely and entirely connected, not only to each other, but within our own kingdom as well. Humans work the same way as plants, okay? And as always, when I sit down to make a video and have 2 or 3 sentences written down, I think, how is this ever going to come together? And I have really given up on trying to logically or cerebrally make anything make sense before I get on here, because I've learned that's just not how the way it works. That's not the way it works when it comes to delivering the message that's important to hear. And what I'm talking about right now is your life. is the way you are playing. Is it worthy of an Oscar, right? Maybe the plant kingdom would give me an Oscar for having that conversation or asking for that permission or giving them the plan before I weed, before I move a tree, before I split a plant. And that is how I work, because I realized at a very young age that that's what needs to happen first before you do that. Now, there could be millions of people that weed and don't have the experience that I have experienced with this. But hey, there's lots of people that do lots of things that don't have the experiences that I have. Okay. So just like that root system is connected to that plant and connected to me as a person, we are all, as light beings, as angels in a physical body, connected to each other. And the roles that we play affect each other greatly. We are playing daughter, we are playing wife, mother, gardener, landscaper, vocalist, musician. Whatever role you're playing needs to be in alignment with the true calling and yearning of your soul. Because if you're not, you are simply playing a game. And when you play games, you hurt yourself and you hurt other people. Humans work the same way as plants. What energy are you playing? What is the role that you're playing? And when I'm talking about roles that we're playing, I'm talking about conscious roles that we're playing. I am conscious that I am being the best mother or working towards being the best mother that I can. I am conscious that I'm working to be the best wife that I can, or the best person that I can, or the best gardener that I can, that I'm living up to the highest version of myself. But we do things unconsciously, okay? And we don't always do things unconsciously to hurt other people. We do it because there is a wound or a void or some sort of issue. Okay. And we're familiar with this, and we have been doing our work, and we've really, really, really been getting into our work of becoming the highest version of ourselves and recognizing the highest version of other humans and all other kingdoms on this planet as well. But do you deserve an Oscar award for the role that you're playing? For the different roles that you're playing? Are you playing different roles with different people in different situations? What does it mean to be a player? A lot of times people think, when they hear the word player, they think of like a rap video or a con man or something. Okay. But that's not the only version of the player. The player is or has the what's the word I'm looking for? The player has the role of playing a game to get what it is that they want in any situation in life. So we use that term, or I hear that term thrown around a lot, like people like, men or women, they're players, or just, out to play. They're not ever being serious. But it goes really way, way deeper than just being serious and just playing with playing with people, or not being serious, or authentic, right, in our relationships. It's really many, many things. So in the energy of being a player, we're simply looking to fill a void of something that's missing in our life. Now, if I've always want to be a gardener and I'm wandering around, walking around, working myself around the neighborhood, presenting myself as someone who would love to landscape or be your gardener, I am playing a role of a landscaper or a gardener, but I'm not playing you, because that's who I am. If you come to my house, you'll see that I've taken over all sides of my entire apartment building, because right here at this level, who I am as a gardener, as a landscaper, as a person who loves flowers, as a person who loves to grow and eat their own food. That's something that I learned from my parents, specifically my father. When I'm talking about playing, I'm talking about intentionally playing or portraying yourself as something that you are not, like an actor or an actress. Do you deserve a Golden Globe? Do you deserve Best Supporting Actress or Best Supporting Actor for the role you're playing? Are you playing different roles to different people? Are you playing yourself to be different things to different people, right? I go to work. I'm this person that holds down a job. Um, I hold down a relationship. I go to church. I'm a Christian or I'm a Catholic or I'm whatever. But internally, those things are not who I am at a soul level. At a soul level, I don't believe in segregation of religion as a as a as a role that I'm playing. I'm going to a Catholic church, but I don't believe in it. So that's what I mean by, do you deserve an Oscar for the role you're playing, for the different situations and the different angles and the different ways that you're playing different people? You're not, sometimes unconsciously, for most of you, most of us, and we all do this a little bit. I'm specifically referring to, do you deserve an Oscar for the person that's really trying to play people, places, and things to get the job, to get the relationship, to get the raise, to get the thing that they want. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's two ways of going about it. You can be in your authenticity to obtain that relationship or that job, that promotion, or you can pretend that you are someone that you are not so you can get that job, that relationship, or that promotion. That's a lot of acting, okay? That is becoming the role of an actress or an actor. Are you putting yourself in that role of being the actress or the actor, the Golden Globe award winning person that is playing to be a different person in different situations to get what you want, to get what you need, to fill a void? I've been making videos for a couple of years now, and never once have I ever given a trigger warning on a big video. In fact, I don't even like the phrase trigger warning. So this is the first time I've ever said it. But this video needs a trigger warning. There are a lot of us, even on the first wave, that have specifically have parental wounds and parental voids that are causing us at an unconscious or subconscious level to play games, to be in the energy of the player so that we can get that person, place, or situation that we want. And we're doing it in an inauthentic way. Now, if you're doing this, you may realize you will be hurting yourself. Not only are you hurting yourself, you will be hurting other people as well. Do you deserve an Oscar for playing different people in different situations? Do your family and friends think that you're a devout Christian when you really believe in non-denominational religion, or you really believe in no separation of any kingdom? Because that's a role that you're playing. It's a being fake. And we oftentimes have to put the hat on of many different things, sometimes in situations that we don't want to, very temporarily. Okay. But there are many of us that are in this energy of the player right now. I'm just going to act this way. I'm going to portray this way. So I get this promotion. You know, I'm going to act this certain way because I'm on a date and I want this person to like me. I'm going to act this certain way because my family expects me to be a devout Catholic, and I'm not. And I go to church, and I feel like I don't belong in my own skin when I'm in the church. And if you feel great in a church, I'm not downing that. What I'm saying is, however you feel at a soul level is who you should be portraying yourself instead of portraying yourself as an actress who can get whatever they want from whoever they want whenever they want. I've known many, many women like this. They'll go to concerts, they'll go to bars, they'll go to restaurants, they'll work the room and work the room and work the room. Do you like that guy? That would be my question. I had a friend like this for a very brief time. When she did this, when she worked this angle with every single person she came in contact, every man she came in contact with, I said, "Do you like this guy?" "No." "Why are you doing this?" "I like the attention. I like how it feels when people flirt with me. I like how it feels when people say I'm pretty." But you don't like that person. That's not fair to act that way to that person if you don't like that person. Actors and actresses have a lot of mental issues and a lot of addiction issues. And the reason is they go so deep into the role, they don't know how to get out of the role. Are you getting so deep into the role that you don't know how to get out of the role? The role of Christianity, the role of, the prodigal son who does what the parents want him to do, the son that runs the business or daughter that runs the business that they don't want to have anything to do with, and like I said, we all occasionally slipped into this acting role where we have to do something or portray something for a few minutes that's not exactly in alignment with us. And I'm not referring to that with the trigger warning. I'm referring to people who are playing a multitude of roles, and I'm calling that a player, right? I really like you, but I don't. I really like being in church on Sunday with my friends and family, but I don't. I really want this promotion. I really need this money, but I don't. Do you deserve an Oscar for your performance? Is your performance worth it? You ever wonder why so many actors and actresses have mental breakdowns? You ever wonder why so many actors and actresses have addiction problems? It's because they get so into a role, and you know how mainstream movies are. Most of these roles, unless you're doing comedies and even sometimes still, are not exactly anything positive. It's not anything way you would want to live. There are some actors that only take jobs that are things they want to portray, right? Whether that's close to their personality or their soul alignment doesn't matter. But there are some people that don't choose to play a heavy vindictive role or a heavy malicious role or a heavy evil role or things like that because they realize this and they're smarter than this. But you've seen these people get into roles. I've seen parts of movies that were so disturbing. I can't remember the name of the movie, but what is her name? Nicole Kidman was in this movie about the haunted house. I think I watched maybe 40 minutes of it. And I thought, man, I don't know how I was tempted and I didn't, but I was tempted to look up how long it was before her next movie because, man, that was a scary ass role. No joke. Absolutely. I'm sure she had to do counseling after it. Whatever you throw yourself into, heart and soul, when it's an act, you start to believe it, and other people believe it. Let's look at Heath Ledger in the middle of Batman. This is not a joke. So even if you're playing pretend and using your imagination and your creativity to play a role or working yourself into a new role, like I'm working myself into many new roles and many new positive new roles. So I may be fudging it a little bit. I may be acting a little bit. I may be using that acting to polish how I speak to people or, you know, when it comes to landscaping and consultations and stuff like that, because I started working with someone else that hired me as a landscape designer, which means not only designer, it means going in there and talking to people. Okay. I've never done that before. when it comes to this. I've done landscaping and gardening. Normally it's like personal, say, I heard about you from so-and-so, and I want I want things to be weeded over here, and I want things to be planted over here, and here's, whatever. But I've never gone in and said, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. This is how many hours I think it's going to take. This is how much money it's going to cost per hour per person, whatever. So I'm doing that. Okay. So that is partially creativity. That is partially make believe. That is partially using acting skills or verbal speaking skills or public speaking skills, if you will, speaking to, a group or a family or whatever. But it's in alignment with who I am. Now, I can tell you from only doing this part of the job for a couple weeks that people will meet me and are saying, are you empathic? Are you psychic? And they're saying all kinds of things to me, right? And would it be easier to be dishonest? Would it be easier to play a role and say, I'm just a landscaper, I'm just a gardener? I don't do that. I don't walk in and say, hi, I'm Tina, the psychic landscape designer. Who's going to sing to your plants. I don't say that. But when someone asks me who I am, my role is the role that is my authentic role. That is the role that I play when I'm out here in my own yard, talking to things, planting the things, transplanting things, splitting plants, weeding, whatever it is. I don't change that for someone else. So I don't go in as a salesperson, right? Saying I am this thing, I am this person, this is how I work. We go in, obviously introduce ourselves and talk about what needs to be done. But I never ever cover up who I am. And most landscaping companies do not use a shovel. They don't weed anything. They come in and spray all these, extensive chemicals that are bad. And I can't tell you how many times this has happened. I tell people straight up front, and I have always done this in landscaping and gardening, that I do not use chemicals. I do not use Roundup. Roundup is carcinogen. And, I tell them that straight up. I don't make a judgment on those people. I may internally make a judgment on those people for their lack of knowledge. I do not verbally make a judgment on those people. I will tell those people I don't use chemicals and I don't work for people who use chemicals, period, end of story. And I've had people a couple times say, why is that? And I say, because that chemical that you're using to kill that, whatever you're trying to kill, is going back into your water system. You're drinking it, you're cooking with it, and you're showering with it. And a couple times I've said that, people are like, wow, I did not know that. I will not use chemicals anymore. But I'm saying it is a role that I'm playing. I am pushing myself. I am being creative, and I am putting myself out there, and I am being who I am without playing a role that is not me, who I am, at a soul. And we all do these little bits and pieces, these little song and dance routines every once in a while that we do, exchange pleasantries in life, to get along better with other humans who maybe don't completely understand where we're coming from sometimes. And that is not what I am addressing here. I am addressing people that are going to church that don't want to be a church. I'm addressing people who are in living situations that don't want to be in those living situations. I am addressing people that are doing jobs that are out of alignment with the things they are doing. Are you putting yourself in a place where you deserve an Oscar for being different than who you are with every person and every situation you come in contact with? Are you doing that? And are you doing that because you're afraid to be who you really are? Now, maybe you have one friend and you're sharing with them all this, amazing stuff that you discovered when you fell down the rabbit hole, and the rest of your family thinks that you're a good Catholic, church going, hardworking, happily, married person. And everything in your existence, in your physical existence, is out of alignment. Now, the reason I'm talking about that is not to make anyone feel bad. We are all unconsciously a little bit playing roles, major roles, best supporting roles, whatever. Everybody does it a little bit. It's part of human nature. Okay. But when we talk about the player energy, like the friend that I had that just went out and literally hit on and flirted with every single person because she liked the attention that it gave her. The reason for the trigger warning, okay? We have all been playing our way through life to get what we want, to get what we need, to fill the void of an absent or dysfunctional parent. Okay? When you were a child, a mother father wound, perhaps for some people it's a mother and father wound. There are those situations where both parents are completely dysfunctional within the family unit and even within each other. There are many unhealthy roles we see as children. There are many truly unhealthy roles that we see within our parents, within our family dynamics. When we have a truly absent or dysfunctional parenting unit, we go around playing this, being in this player energy, being in this golden globe energy. Okay, well, my husband's going to feel like I'm the best wife ever. I'm the happiest wife ever. But am I happy? The pastor's going to think, wow, Tina really loves to go to church every Sunday. She does. Look at, she's just smiling. And my job's going to think, well, Tina really wants and deserves this promotion. But do I want it? Do I need it? Is it what I really want? Or am I just playing a role so that my friends, that my family, that my coworkers think highly of me? But I tell you what, man, even when it's necessary in a social situation for a few minutes to be a little bit slightly uncomfortable in your skin in a weird situation where you can't be your true authentic self, it's uncomfortable. You know it. But imagine if your whole life was like that. Actors and actresses have mental problems and addiction problems, not because all the Hollywood junk that we hear about all the time, that's a very small piece of it. It's because of the roles they're playing. Okay. It's very, very serious who we play, right? And what is the saying? Fake it until you make it, smile, grin and bear it. Smile and until you believe it, right? You can trick yourself. You can hype yourself up into positivity, into happiness. And again, that's not what I'm speaking to either. The mother father wound will have us playing these roles through lives to get us what we want or need to fill the void of the absent or dysfunctional player. You have an absent, dysfunctional father. So what do? You go to bars, you go to restaurants, you go to, concert venues, whatever, and you seek attention from every single person. I have never in my life sought attention from someone just to get attention. Now, people say to me a lot, well, I bet you get attention from all kinds of people. Yeah, well, sometimes, we're all in that position sometimes, but I don't give back attention unless I'm really interested. I will never sit there and pretend that I am enthralled or fascinated by a conversation that does not fascinate me. I will never pretend like I want to be in a relationship with someone just to be in a relationship with someone. And believe me, I have parental wounds as well. It's just that I recognize and have been dealing with those for a very long time. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I'm over every single thing that's ever happened to me. I'm saying you, like an actor or an actress, can get lost in the role that you're playing and then find a need for drugs, find a need for alcohol, find a need for pornography, find a need to go around and talk to man after man after man. Whatever it is for you that you didn't get as a child, whatever it is for you that you didn't get as a teenager in your younger years, whatever it was missing, whatever void you're trying to fill, just like an actor or an actress, you can get lost in that role. Okay? You get lost in that role. It's uncomfortable not to be yourself, right? That's where the drugs and alcohol, the pornography, whatever it is for you comes in to fill that void. You can get lost in that role. Okay? That's why there are so many mental breakdowns in Hollywood. I don't need to give you examples, but if I were to give you just one, Heath Ledger in Batman would be the perfect example. I don't believe he even made it through the filming of that movie. Now, if you've seen that movie, you might understand how that kind of a thing could affect your psyche. The mother-father wound is a really big deal. And, I think sometimes partially people are conscious that wound is there, but they're not consciously aware that they're going out seeking attention from every single person of the opposite sex to fill that wound of dysfunction, that attention that person didn't get. So yeah, not only can you get lost in that role, not only can you have a mental breakdown or get addicted to substances. Okay, so if you're in a job you hate and you've been in that job for decades, that's why some people drink. Yes, it's a drug, or an addiction. But you get to that because there's an uncomfortability that lends itself to you putting yourself out into another dimension with alcohol, drugs, pornography, whatever it is for you, because maybe you recognize that there's a void you're trying to fill and you don't know how to fix it. Maybe you don't know how to stop being a player. Okay? But you're hurting yourself. It's really uncomfortable to be in a job you don't like. If you're in a job you don't like for decades, that's even more uncomfortable. You're in a relationship you don't like, that's more uncomfortable. There are people, believe it or not, that are in jobs they don't like. They're in relationships on top of that job that they don't like. They don't like the relationship. They don't like the job. They don't like going to church. They don't like working for the family business. They don't like any of it. So what happens? They become a different person, like an actor or an actress. In every situation, with every family member, with every friend, with every coworker, they become a different person to adapt to that. And that becomes really extremely uncomfortable, even in one situation. So if you are living a life where you are uncomfortable, or whenever you're not able to be yourself, it's uncomfortable, right? Think of the times you had to really get yourself dressed and, put on a face or maybe talk to a huge bunch of family members at a graduation or a party that made you uncomfortable and just really uncomfortable for an hour or two. We still have people on the first and second wave that are uncomfortable in their own skin in every aspect of their life. And that's where that addiction really comes in. Cannot stop an addiction without replacing an addiction with something else to do. It doesn't work that way. We can get lost in the role that we play. If you're playing multiple roles and multiple roles to different people in different situations and constantly adapting like a chameleon, and you wonder why, you feel heavy, you feel dark night of the soul, you feel you can't do it anymore. I don't know how you could do it to begin with. We've all done it earlier in life, and I'm not here as a chastising energy. I'm here to ask you if you deserve an Oscar for your performance in your life. And if you do, you may consider if you're unhappy or in a situation that's causing you to drink or expose yourself to pornography or be a womanizer. It's cause for a pause. Okay. And the reason that this is coming up so strongly right now. And I'm not dealing with anybody personally, but my circle is very small. But I feel it. I know what's going on. It's been going on for a while. This ecliptical energy between April 20th and May 5th with the we had solar, lunar, lunar, solar. Same thing is going to happen in October. So this is what's coming up right now, or a piece of it. What is the role that I'm playing? What's the role that I'm playing versus the role that I want to play? What job am I doing versus what job do I want to do? What relationship am I in versus what relationship do I want to be in? How am I treating my body versus how should I be treating my body? Every part about this. What is the role that you're playing? And if you are playing a role that's coming out to you because of trauma, childhood trauma, void, victim mentality, mother father wounding, playing all these different roles to all these different people to fill a need or fill a want. And that need and that want is attention. It's basically attention. Okay. I want that job. Why do you want a job you don't, it's not in alignment with you? Because you want attention. Why do you want to be with, someone that's rich, that looks a certain way that you don't know? Because you like the attention they're getting and you want that attention. And I'm not saying, right, specifically that people watching this channel are that you're all doing every one of these things, and you may be doing none of these things. But this is what's coming up in the collective, right? People have been making fun of, in rap music and R&B of the player for decades, right? It's hit a crescendo, I will say, and within the last 5 years, everybody knows what a player is. I forget that song. What's that song? Playa from the Himalayas or something. Everyone's familiar with what this term is, and but people think it's just like, oh well, that person's just a womanizer, that person just doesn't has a commitment phobia. You guys, it goes way, way, way beyond that. And I'm telling you that it's coming up. And I'm not saying it's you, James Wiskus. I'm not saying it's you, Susan Ferguson. I'm not saying it's you, Kathy Holton, that's doing this. I'm saying it's coming up. That's why I'm talking about it. You're just going to see it in every stage of, Hollywood, social media platforms, YouTube. You're going to see people getting very real. Okay. You're going to see a lot of people leaving Hollywood. You're going to see a lot of people, ditching marriages. You're going to see a lot of people going to rehab. You're going to see a lot of this because people are going to realize that they've been playing different roles in this player energy, different roles with different people for a really long time, so they can get what they want and what they need. And that's the attention that they didn't get when they were younger. It's the mother father wound. Okay. Now, the way that we get true, honest, authentic attention is by taking care of ourselves and being in an attractive energy. That attractive energy is what pulls into us what is fated for us. So part of our life is about fate, it's about destiny, and part of it is about creation. A lot of times people believe in God. If God loves me, he'll cure me. If God loves me, he'll bring me this job. If God loves me, he'll deliver me money. Okay, there are people that feel like that. There are people that feel like there is no God. There is no source. There is no creator. It's me that has to find the husband. It's me that has to find the job. It's me that has to find the abundance. The thing is, it's both. It's you and the creator. It's you and the universe. And a lot of people have been doing this completely on their own over here. God will deliver this. The universe will deliver this. It doesn't work that way. You work with God, with the universe, with source. You working with. It's half and half. It's the Libra scales of balance here. Okay. It's justice. It's karmic justice. Is you working with the universal energy of God, source, whatever you believe it is. It doesn't matter what you believe it is, what name you call it, what person you call it, what you give to it. As long as you believe in that energy and work with that energy, it doesn't matter what name you call it or what you believe. But the important thing is it's half you, right? Scales of balance. Half you, half exterior, faded reality that you're working with, no matter what you believe, what name, what deity, whether you go to church, don't go to church, it doesn't matter. There's an energy, and that is the quantum field of unlimited potential. And you can give that any name or personification you want. It's the Libra scales of balance. It's 50% me working with the energy of the unlimited potential, the quantum field, and you can give that any name you want. Don't get lost in the role that is not a role you're not in love with. Okay. I could say it's my role to build tiny houses and live by a gigantic lake or by the ocean or a big body of water. And if that's a role that's in alignment with my soul, that's what's the highest version of me, is to do that, to go after that thing, that person, place, that thing. The problem is we go after things unconsciously because of a mother-father wound, wandering around trying to get attention. I only want energy, attention from the people, places, and things that I love and want to reciprocate that energy and attention. I don't give it to everybody. I don't give it to someone who whistles at me when I'm walking down the street. And in all capacities, someone may want to hire me for a landscaping job, but they use Roundup. No, I'm sorry. I don't give it where I don't want to get it, because you can get lost in this role, okay? And that role, getting lost in that role that you're playing, that unhappy, unfulfilled that you're playing, not only affects you with a heaviness, with a disregard for what your soul really wants, for a disregard of your human light angel within a human vessel. It is also a disregard for how other people feel when they are being played by someone else. You can get lost in the role you play, okay? Other people can get lost in the role you play. I really like you. I really like this job. I really love going to church. Those other people believe you really like them. They believe you love that job. They believe you love going to church. It's not transparent. It's definitely not honesty. That role, you can get lost in that role. The other person on the other end of that believes these things that you're saying, that you're doing, that you're professing to feel, professing to be fascinated by, professing to whatever you're professing to, they can get lost in the role that you're playing. But they will realize that you are playing a role. So you will hurt yourself, and you will hurt that other person very much that you are playing that role of as well. Get help with it any way you can. If you're wandering around, and there's two polarities to this that I've been seeing, okay? One is walking around trying to get attention from every person, place, and thing. The other is not wanting attention about anything in your life, but just staying stuck in every person, place, and thing that does nothing for your soul. Do you deserve an Oscar for your role? Do you deserve an Oscar for being a different person in every situation? Do you deserve an Oscar for being a different person to every person you come in contact with? If that's the case, you know, there's a million ways to get help, but I don't need to be here to tell you how to do it. But realize if you're playing a role, and again, trigger warning, everyone does it for a few minutes, every once in a while. But if you are living a role that is not you, your burden will be a burden that will become incredibly heavy. until you can't take it anymore. Don't get lost in any role that doesn't feel good, that's not beautiful, that's not expansive, that's not fascinating. Okay? We all do it when we're younger. We experiment with things. We go along with the crowd. We give in to peer pressure. We get older. It's part of ascension process. This is one of the most important parts of the ascension process. Okay. You can't have a small group of friends, talking about ascension and all this stuff. And that's who you truly are, but yet you're portraying yourself as somebody completely different. I could look at your Facebook page. Your Facebook page has nothing about how you truly feel. Nothing. If you're going to go after a Golden Globe Award, make it for the things that feel good to you. If you're going to go after that Golden Globe Award, make it for people that feel like home, that feel like bliss, that feel like fascination for you, and not the things that don't. This is the most crucial step in our ascension process right now. Okay. And the intensification of these beautiful blissed out energies are not always bliss. We've discussed this way too many times. They're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's so you can push yourself out of the role of pretending that a role suits you that doesn't suit you. There's nothing wrong with pushing yourself in the direction of people, places, and things that are your dream come true. That's not acting. That's authentically following your bliss and authentically following your fascination. There are many things as children that left us wounded. Trust me, I've been working on these things for decades. But it does not feel good to be on the other end of someone who's playing around like this, okay? And I've known people like this several times in my life, even, having a best friend that was like, oh, I want to do this and want to do this and this. But really, they just want something from you because you have something that they don't have. Be your greatest authentic self. And know that I'm not saying this. I'm not discussing it with you to chastise you. And I'm not discussing it with you because I think you're doing the million things that I've just talked about winning a Golden Globe Award for. I'm telling you this. It's going to come up in the collective. It's going to come up in Hollywood. It's going to come up on the music scene. It's going to come up every which way. And, as far as media and social media and Hollywood and the music scene, they will play whack-a-mole with it and, maybe try to keep things out of the general public, but they will, as always, the intensification of not being able to keep these things out of the public eye for the last couple of years gets intense. And I love it when people say the eclipse was yesterday or the eclipse was a week ago. Once every 100 years, we have what just happened from April 20th and May 5th will also be October 14th and October 28th. I'm pretty sure I have those dates correctly. I wouldn't swear to it. There's a solar eclipse and then a lunar eclipse, and then a solar eclipse and then a lunar eclipse. I don't know if it was solar lunar or lunar solar. Which one was first? I don't know. But it was one, okay? And then, so we had one eclipse and then we turn around and it had another eclipse within 15 days. The one in October will be 10 days apart. Now, eclipses in general will have an energy that starts 30 days to 3 months before the eclipse and lasts 30 days to 3 months after the eclipse. So if you're thinking, oh, Tina, that was so May 5th. Oh, Tina, that was so April 20th. Well, oh, Tina, this eclipse energy now is going to be going into August, September. Okay. We have a little bit of a break for it, right? Maybe September, 6 weeks, then October 14th and October 28th. It's going to push this player energy. And I'm not saying this just as a player, as a role player, as where you get a Golden Globe. Do you deserve a Golden Globe for being different people to different situations? Okay. That's a piece of it. And I don't mean that completely like, oh, you're intentionally going around playing all these different people either. Again, as I said, a lot of it is subconscious or unconsciously rising to the surface. Why do I need attention? Where is that void, that mother, father, wound or that void? And how is that pushing me? And it's pushing you to be your true, authentic self so you can be happy and you can be blissful and you can be expansive and you can be fascinated. So this is not a bad thing or a negative thing. I'm telling you, it's coming up in you, it's coming up in me, it's going to come up in the whole scene on social media and on every platform and every into reality. No matter how much you or anyone in the public eye is trying to play whack-a-mole with the things that are coming up in your life. These back-to-back eclipses from April 20th to May 5th, from October 14th to October 28th, are a gift to push you into who you are as a soul. You know who you are as a soul. These eclipses are to push you into living in a human body who you are as a soul. Thank you for being here, as always. Thank you for coming back. I don't know what's going on with that other video. It's probably still running live in the background somewhere. I'll probably have to find someone in my building maybe that can help me figure out how to close that out, because it asked me if I wanted to stop the video, and I said yes. But Renee and I were still chatting in the comments, and it says I'm still live. So now I've bilocated and I've become two people in two different places simultaneously. Thank you for being here. Thank you for returning. Thank you for coming back to this channel after the last video. I love you. I appreciate and love your support. I honor, respect you. And I am absolutely in awe and fascination with this process that we are going through. The player energy within the collective, within you, within your family, within your relationships, all of it is coming to the surface because it's asking you, do you want to keep playing this game? Or wouldn't you feel more comfortable who you really are? Wouldn't you feel more fascinated by life, being in the energy of who you truly are as a soul level? Wouldn't you be more in joy, more in bliss, and more in love, being who you truly are at a soul level without playing a game? Until next time, bye. Now, we'll see if the stream actually ends this time or what happens. You never know with me. Bye.